Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the Paranormal Portal. As I remember to turn on the ghost radar, which I will do right now. Here it is. The ghost radar is going on. It's the 15th. My God. What in the hell is going on? How many shopping days are left till Christmas? Might as well just get right to it. Like, what the hell? I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Well, if you want some great Christmas ideas and you got some pretty eclectic people in your mix, head over to uncommongoods.com and use the code PORTAL, uncommongoods/portal on checkout, and you can get a savings and find some pretty eclectic stuff, some pretty cool items on there that are kind of one of a kind. I mean, I've never seen a shop like it. Yeah, I'm doing a promo for them on the podcast, and I thought, why don't I dump it here too and just let you guys know about it? But if you go to uncommongoods.com/portal, you'll find some savings and some pretty cool items as well. I really think they're a cool site. I've never seen anything like it before, but it's like, yeah, nice. You got 3 birthdays. Well, are they all yours or somebody else's? No, I'm just kidding. Karen's having 3 of them. That's it. I'm having 3 birthdays. I'm getting the next 3 of them done now. That T-shirt is his favorite. Gets worn everywhere. What T-shirt? What are we talking about? Whose T-shirt? What T-shirt? Annie, I don't know what you mean. But, is it one of mine? Is it perhaps one of mine? That's really cool. There you go. Yep, and just put /portal at the end, and that'll be right to your bonus savings page. But the portal shirt, awesome. That's really cool. I'm glad it was well received. Thank you so much for helping to promote the show. Hubby's new granddaughter-in-law and youngest granddaughter. Aw, that's cool, Karen. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful time celebrating those birthdays. And I didn't turn on the X-ray, did I? Pulling my cord. There we go. That's an actual X-ray that was given to me by my friend Josh, who gave that to me. Oh, T-Bone's rolling deep. Got the memberships cooking. Boom, baby. Just setting them up like bowling pins, getting his turkey. All right, T-Bone gifted 5 memberships, ladies and gentlemen, and who got them? Well, first off, Spirit Stalker 55, you got one. And who else? Well, I'm glad you asked. Diane Bose got one, as did Bigfoot Dwarf. North Alabama Cryptid Mr. and Mrs. NAC got one, and not too haunted. A little bit, but not too haunted. I love that name, Not Too Haunted. So congratulations to everybody who got a free 1-month membership. Oh, hi, Barbara. Good to see you. She says she's late again, popping in from Facebook. But thank you again, T-Bone, for making that happen. You're always doing amazing things to help support the show, and it means the world to me. So thank you so incredibly very much. I don't even think that's right grammar, but you know what I mean. It comes from the heart. So when you get as far as you're actually making up grammar, that means there's some serious love involved, I'm thinking. So thank you very much. That means the world to me, and it means the world to the longevity of the show. So I appreciate it a lot. We are going to get to the Wednesday festivities. And remember, this is going to be the last live stream of this week because, well, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be otherwise indisposed, I guess. Did I close that? No, I didn't close that. Yeah, I must have closed that. I did close that. I didn't mean to close that, but I closed that. That's how it works around here. Sometimes you close things and sometimes you open them. But because this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be in Wallace, Idaho, and doing a presentation on Saturday, the 18th at 3 p.m., because this is what's going on. I'm going to be over here. Paranormal Portal, cryptids, UFOs, ghosts, and more. I'm going to be talking about just a cornucopia of the weird. They give me about an hour to talk, so I'm going to fill it up with as much weirdness as I can pack into an hour. And that'll be in 426 6th Street in Wallace, Idaho. It's at Cog's Gastropub, and it's part of the Wallace paranormal festival celebration going on over there leading up to Halloween. So that's going to be really cool. That's going on this coming weekend. Let's see. And then, as if that wasn't enough, well, there's more. Because on the 24th, I'm going to be hanging out with the Hometown Ghost Stories guys and going to be doing their Hometown Ghost Stories live event that's coming up on October 24th at the Barrel House Z in Weymouth, Massachusetts. So if you can be there, definitely be there. It'll be a great time. I'm really looking forward to meeting the guys in person. We've known them for years. We've been back and forth on each other's shows a number of times. But these are great guys, and I love their show. I really, really respect and appreciate the amount of effort they put into every episode, but just the camaraderie and friendship that they share is so amazingly cool, and it's been a fun thing in my life to be a part of that as well. So really looking forward to it. Special thanks to Hometown Ghost Stories for inviting me to be a part of this. This is going on October 24th. Barrel House Z in Weymouth, Massachusetts. I'll be speaking there. So what else? That's it. I think that's going to kind of wrap up my social endeavors for this year just because what did I do? Oh, I know what I did. I was like, where am I? Yeah, I had the overlay on. Brilliant. I work here too. But I think that's going to wrap up my events for the year. I'm just tired. I'm just worn out. And I love doing them, but I don't know. There's so many people out there that literally go from conference to conference to conference, and they are machines. They are truly machines. And I really enjoy them once I do them. It's just, I'm always like, oh God, I got to go take care of this and this and this and this. And then when I'm doing that, I'm not taking care of this and this and this and this, and in my life. So unfortunately, I can't be two places at once. So after this, I'm going to be just here. What kind of dog is the Boneho, Elaine? Looks like if from your thing, is that like a golden retriever or an Irish setter? What is that? Because it kind of looks like my dog, except I got a miniature golden. And so she's looks like that, but she's smaller. So anyway, Troy Bursch, hey brother, been a listener for a long time. I made a meme of you and Don in the car. That was a while ago. It's Troy from Into the Abyss podcast, Morbid Morsels podcast. Hey, I love that self-plug you just did there. The Ghost Radar is blocked because I had that open. You're right, Rachel. Thank you so much. Yeah, good to see you again, Troy. Thanks for stopping in and get some mileage out of my chat. I appreciate that. Gotta love a person that's willing to put it out there. Troy's a great guy, though. He's been a long-time friend of the show, but it's good to see you, man. Great to see you. But we got a lot to get to. John Stevenson said that as well. Yeah. Sorry about that. Brent, keep a balance, stay healthy. That's what we all want. I appreciate that. And yeah, I mean, the less I travel, the less likely I'm going to catch another crazy bug like I did after Vernal. Man, whatever that was, put a foot right in my mud hole. I don't know what else to call. I was just spanked, though. That really spanked me. Whatever it was I caught in Vernal, man, it just whooped me. It whooped me hard. But I did stop at about every gas station between here and Vernal, so God only knows where I picked it up. But man, it hit me like a hammer after I got back. It was hitting me there. I was cold all the time. I could not get warm, and I was like, what's going on? It's not cold, but I was feeling cold. So yeah, there you go. Justin Goodearth's popped in over on Rumble, as did Barbara Mora, Dog Digger. HB Girl to You has popped in over there earlier. She kind of opened up the show over there, or even before the show, actually. And so that's who's over there. Big D popped in as well. Great to see all you guys over in Rumble. Who do we got over here on, let me close this. Who do we got over here on the YouTubes? Well, I'm glad you asked because we're about to find out. Let me just pop out the chat here and we'll have a look. If you want a shout out, type something in the chat. I'll give you just a few seconds to type something because it's hard to read when that list is like growing and shrinking and I can't see where the names are coming from or going from. So just type something in there and that'll let me know that you're here. I can only give shout outs to those of you that are typing in the chat because it doesn't just show me who's listening or watching or hanging out in the other room as they're listening to the tone of my voice. But anyway, so far in YouTube, we got Elaine Clifford, John Stevenson, Jose Sanchez, Karen Alberding, Man from the West 420, Marcia B, Nathan Nate, North Alabama Cryptid, Mr. and Mrs. NAC is here. Very cool. As is Poncho Zorch. Rachel gets it right. Richard Barger. Ruthie Castro. Now I got Castro and Casto. Yeah, when Josh is here, it's Josh Casto. And when Ruthie's here, it's Ruthie Castro. T-Bone's here. The Unknown is here. Troy Bursch is here. Yeshua is here as well. And so is Beth with Adventures with Beth. So great to see you guys. Great to see all you guys. Thank you so much for coming in. I don't think I missed anybody. Man from the West 420 came in as well. I don't know. If I didn't say your name, just say hi to me in chat. I hope I'll see it and we can get back to the show. So that's the shout outs. That's me just acknowledging your presence in my world. It means the world to me. So thank you all for being here. Hi, Deborah Neighbors. Good to see you. Nate. Good to see you. Everybody, good to see you. So we got to get to the news. Got some news articles to whip through tonight. And I don't know what else we're going to get to. I got a bunch of stuff pulled up and I don't even remember what I pulled up. So we'll find out together. But we got a bunch of, I got a bunch of segments or pieces for the What the Hell Is That segment. And we'll close it out with the Cryptid Corner and see where we end up. But that's the plan as it stands. What's the plan, Stan? That's the plan as it stands. I know it stands. I know. I was just trying to make that work. Hi, Dale. How you doing? Good to see you. I thought I said hello to you at the beginning of the show in the chat, but I don't know if I read your name on the shout-outs, so you're right. But it's good to see you, Dale Atkinson. Wonderful to have you here. Karen Alberding is here as well. Seems and Hera are closest to one breed. They are two breeds, St. Bernard German Shepherds. Oh, very cool. They're mixed? Are they St. Bernard German Shepherd mix? That sounds like it'd be a pretty dog. My uncle's wife, my aunt, it's my uncle's wife, really. My aunt used to have a St. Bernard, and his name was Napoleon. He was a big baby, but that's a huge dog. Those are huge dogs. Very pretty dogs. But they drool. Imagine not hitting the like button. Exactly my point, Hometown Ghost Stories. I was just telling everybody about the event going on the 24th and how we're looking forward to getting out there and seeing you guys. So it's great, ladies and gentlemen. Hometown Ghost Stories is in the chat as we speak. Wonderful guys. If you're not checking out their channel and subscribed, you should get subscribed and check out their channel. They do live streams every Tuesday night at, I think it's 6 Pacific, so I guess 9 Eastern. I guess that's how that works, 3 hours. There you go. But great guys. You should get to know them if you don't know them already. It's kind of a moral imperative. So, all right, we're going to get to the news and see what the hell's going on in the news world. And I have no idea what I pulled up for that either. I'm really kind of running on fumes today. Today was the day of, it kind of was sunshiny, so I had to get out and tear down the Minions trampoline and a bunch of yard furniture and stands and stuff. And so I was tearing it up outside as much as I could because I got a lot to get done. And with all this traveling around, it's not as much. Falls around here are really wet and rainy. So like, if you get a sunny day in the fall, you gotta jump on it because you may not get out there in the sunshine until next spring. It's how it works out here. So anyway, we'll be listening away from chat. Okay, Sharon, thank you. I'll be talking. I hope you can hear me. I'll talk extra loud just in case you're a little ways away. All right, here we go. We're going to get to the news. Let's see what the hell's going on in the world, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the news. Here we go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Paranormal Portal News Desk, and we're going to dive into the news that crawled on my radar today. It looks like some good ones. Again, always throughout the course of the show, we utilize a lot of different sites, and please support these sites. These sites are amazingly well done. They are so professionally updated and current and well maintained, and they need your love. Your traffic equals revenue for these sites, and it helps keep the lights on. So visit these sites, please. They are amazing. The best sites on the interwebs as far as I've ever found. So that's why I support them, because I love them. What can I say? All right, we're going to go to the first news article of the night, and this is from the tried and true, the most amazing news site there is out there, unexplained-mysteries.com. And this one comes from the extraterrestrial files, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know, you ever think we've all heard about, well, what are the aliens doing? Why don't they come by and say hi? Or why don't they do this or that? And then there's other people that think, why would they? We're like, as Michio Kaku suggests, possibly the ants in the anthills. And when you're walking down the street, do you stop at every anthill and introduce yourself? Probably not. So maybe it's like that Aussie Boss Tiger remembered. He remembered. God bless you. So is that the case? We don't know, but from this article from Unexplained-Mysteries, maybe. Maybe it's not a real flattering article from our perspective, but maybe it puts it in perspective. Let's see. It says, new theory proposes that aliens simply can't be bothered visiting us. Sounds like a lot of my relatives. I've been up here in the north tip of Idaho, and I literally have had one family member visit me up here, which is fine. I mean, I'm not one of those people that requires a lot of maintenance or whatever. If I get a phone call or whatever, that's great. But that is Sheldon, my oldest son. He's the only one that's ever been here. So, but anyway, I'm kind of aloof that way anyway. Let's see what the article said, though. This is from October 15th. It says, a new paper outlines potentially new explanation for why we have yet to make contact with an advanced alien race. The question of whether we're alone in the universe remains one of the biggest philosophical conundrums of our time. Well, I think most of us don't think we're alone. We're just surprised the rest of you guys out there haven't acknowledged it yet. While it seems almost inconceivable that our civilization is alone in the cosmos, the fact still remains that we have yet to see any evidence to the contrary. I very much disagree with that. The Fermi paradox, which highlights the contradiction between the likely existence of extraterrestrial civilizations and the fact that we have still never encountered any, again, disagree, but you're not willing to look at the evidence that's on the table. So that's a convenient omission. Seems to suggest that either there are no aliens out there, or they simply have never found us, or that they're extremely rare. But what about the real explanation is something more like a lot more mundane. According to a new paper by the University of Maryland's Dr. Robin Corbett, the reality may be that super advanced technology simply doesn't exist, and that alien civilizations may peak at a technological level not much more advanced than our own. They may have expended a great deal of resources exploring space, visiting other planets, and trying to find evidence of other civilizations, but after spending centuries on this, they eventually lost interest and simply had no further desire to pursue such an endeavor. I don't think that's ever going to be a position of an intelligent race. I mean, look at the world in Columbus's day. It was like they couldn't wait to get on ships and find new stuff. That was the driving force. What secrets could you unlock that maybe somewhere in the universe could show you? There is the opportunity for knowledge. There's opportunity for relationships and learning from each other. I mean, there's no way you just go, well, we're good enough. Let's just stay here and watch the game. I mean, that's just not going to happen. If they're anything like that, like us, and maybe they're not, but if they're anything like us, there's obviously always a drive, a primal push for us to know more than we know and to go where we haven't gone. And I mean, it's the whole premise for Star Trek, right? The space, the final frontier. What if Kirk went, yeah, we've been doing this for a few years. Let's just stay home and order in. It's like, it's not going to happen. I think that as long as we can, and as any civilization would develop new technologies and new abilities to do things, they're going to push further because there's so many questions. And why wouldn't they be like us? I tend to probably believe that they're more like us than not like us, right? I mean, unless there's like, I don't know, energy beings out there. I don't know what the hell that even means, but I watch Star Trek, so I'm all confused about what might be out there in the universe. Universes, who knows? But anyway, as such, the galaxy may be full of slightly more advanced alien civilizations that are simply bored of scouring the cosmos for other inhabited worlds and now simply focus on their own affairs. This radical mundanity theory has been met with some skepticism. Yeah, I've got a lot of skepticism here. However, with scientists arguing that this idea unrealistically assigns human-like apathy to alien civilizations. As things stand, however, we simply have no way of knowing one way or the other. Exactly, but again, could this person be right or these people be right? I don't know. I'm sure there's some civilizations out there that just went, we're fine, just stay home. It's nice and safe. Kind of like the agoraphobic intergalactic neighbors. They just don't want to go anywhere. They keep the curtains closed and peek out every once in a while. Maybe they look through their telescopes and just see what's going on, but they don't have an interest. They're fine. But I don't know. I just can't imagine having the ability to research the cosmos and choose to just stay home. It's like, I'm good. Matlock's on at 7, so I can't go anywhere. I don't know. It's strange stuff, but that's the first article. What do you think? Do you think aliens might just be like, whatever, I got to stay home. The yard, who's going to mow the yard? I mean, come on. Can't go gallivanting across the cosmos looking for something that I might never find. Yeah, I don't think so. I think that knowledge will always be a primary force in our expansion, into ourselves and outside of ourselves, microcosm and the macrocosm. It's just we want to learn, we want to know, we want to unlock the mysteries of all of this. What the hell is it? So I can't imagine it's much different for aliens. They just probably got a head start, is what I'm guessing. But anyway, there you go. First article, kind of interesting, right? Maybe, I don't know. Now, the other side of that is that people are already seeing a bunch of this stuff, and how these articles can just ignore that. Like, they can ignore all of that. That's on the table. It's like people are seeing these craft. I've seen these craft and exhibited capabilities that I'm pretty sure we can't do yet, at least. And so it's probably somebody else's, right? So if that's the case, they're already here. Maybe they've always been here. Maybe they're your neighbor. Maybe they're the weird person that shows up at the grocery store that just never fits in anywhere or even has a social capacity to engage people. I oftentimes think of those are the aliens, honestly. Everybody meets these people. It's like, man, that guy just had no idea what to do when I said hi. Maybe he's alien. Yep. Brent, they're scared silly of our violent humanity. Well, maybe. I mean, here's the thing, and I guess if anybody gets their understanding of human beings from our media, then everything out there in the cosmos is going to think that we are absolutely batshit crazy. I mean, really, because all you see is highlighted the worst of the worst of the worst. And so our media really does us a huge disservice. Now, if they take the time and hang out and land and check out what we're doing in the amount of compassion and love and potential that people have, I think they would be absolutely, gobsmacked to be like, wow, I sure had no idea you guys were like this, because, it's like Cops, intergalactic Cops episodes, watching your media from the stars, I think we are incredibly amazing people. There's really screwed up people, but I think that those are actually the minority of us. I don't think they represent most of us, but the squeaky wheels always get the grease, and that's unfortunately what we focus on. And there's a lot of screwed up in the world. Don't get me wrong. We got a long ways to go, but we are capable of some incredibly beautiful acts and of compassion and charity and our drive to make the world better around us. And that's here. That's part of this whole human condition. So I think if anybody's going to look, if they're not smart enough to look beyond the media, then I guess nothing we can do about it. But hopefully they would take the time and really investigate what we are and who we are, and don't, not the few bad apples, make a judgment call for the whole planet. Because there's plenty of bad apples, but I think there's more good people. Just my take. Yeah, there we go. So we'll find out eventually. 3-Eye Atlas is still in our neighborhood, and still that controversy continues. So we'll see what the hell they are. Maybe they're part of the intergalactic greeting committee, coming by with a fruit basket and some coupons and saying, well, welcome to the neighborhood. Maybe. You never know. We'll find out. Or they're selling cookies or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's continue. We got more to do. We're going to do that now. Here we go from the next article. Oh, this is kind of cool. I don't even think I ever heard of this. Well, I heard of it when I pulled up the article, but this one looks cool. In 1927, they're talking about a report or study done in 1927. Comes from the Metaphysics and Psychology section of unexplained-mysteries.com. Let's get into this. This looks pretty cool. It's not too long. Here it is, Metaphysics and Psychology. In 1927, a radio experiment tried to prove that telepathy exists. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. All right, let's see what it is. Almost 100 years ago, thousands of listeners took part in a mass psychic experiment over the radio. Back in 1927, a group of scientists headed up by physicist Sir Oliver Lodge and backed by the Society for Psychical Research, or SPR, decided to conduct an experiment to determine whether or not it was possible for humans to send messages to one another telepathically. Cool. To accomplish this, hear me at puberty, to accomplish this, to accomplish this, 6 volunteers were sealed in a room. Jesus, Minion sounds like a rhino coming down the stairs sometimes. To accomplish this, 6 volunteers were sealed in a room, and the session was broadcast live on BBC Radio, which listeners could tune into on their radio receivers at home. Each volunteer was shown a series of series of objects, ranging from playing cards to pictures and hats. While they were focusing on each object, the listeners were asked to write down what they thought the object was, and then send in their answers at the end. Remarkably, around 25,000 people wrote in with their thoughts on what the objects were. Sadly, only a few of the listeners actually identified any of the objects, with 5 people correctly guessing a picture of a skull and a few others vaguely matching a man in a mask and hat. According to researcher officer V.J. Woolley, the successful guesses were swamped by the large mass of failures, indicating statistical chance rather than the evidence of telepathic communication. Even so, it remains one of the most intriguing and wide-ranging experiments of its kind ever attempted. That's interesting. You know what else is kind of interesting? I don't know if any of you follow Amy Bruni, but she does kind of a similar thing. She had this box that was just wrapped with like gift paper, and she's like, all right, everybody, message me and tell me what's in this. What is this? And she got all kinds of people guessing it was a shoe or a left shoe or some other object. And according to, I don't know how many responses she got, but one person, and she said it was really just matter of fact. She said, it's a brick. And that was the correct answer. It was a brick that was wrapped up in present paper, gift wrapping paper. And one person got it out of all of the respondents. But the interesting thing about the brick, though, is it was apparently sent to Amy Bruni from the demolition site of Bobby Mackey's. So it was actually a brick from Bobby Mackey's building that was torn down. But it's kind of cool that, that those kind of experiences are out there, or those experiments are out there. I think that oftentimes things like telepathy and stuff are also absolutely aided by a familiarity with the between the receivers, or the sender and the receiver. If there's a familiarity there, I think it creates more of a resonance and maybe a sympathetic frequency that they share, kind of thing. Having a stranger do it, you have no idea really who the person is other than by their introduction, and they're thinking about something, and how do you tune into that? But if it's someone that maybe it would be interesting to see if they, in a double-blind study, if they took people familiar with each other and did that same experiment versus just two strangers, and find out if there's a more of a likelihood to tune in to each other based on that familiarity. I don't know. Interesting stuff. Good to hear Mr. Bigfoot, Michigan Rob. Hey, I didn't miss anything yet, did I, Rob? I know was that for next week? I don't know, Rob. Let me know. I got to look back I can't look back at the chat, I don't think, but yeah, let me know, because that was on Texas stream. Anyway, it's kind of interesting. I think these kind of experiments, I think there's probably a lot more that needs to be done before we're looking, that far ahead for successes. But, tomorrow. Okay. What time tomorrow, Rob? Let me know again. I think it was a morning thing, wasn't it? Was it the 10 a.m. thing? I don't know. Didn't you invite me and say the offer's open for something? And I can't remember what it was. I didn't write it down. And so I'm 6 a.m. Nothing happens in my world at 6 a.m. unknown, unless I'm not sleeping. Oh, okay. So it's tomorrow at 10 a.m. my time. Is that right? And your brunch thing. Okay. I'll try to make it. I really will. I think that might work. So thank you for inviting me. I'm sorry. I just saw you and oh yeah, I've got to ask more. 10 a.m. my time, right? Not your time. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. There you go. That's the next article. That was the second article. I guess I should probably learn to speak. I'm just multitasking mentally. And you can see that I'm a serial monotasker. Absolutely. Multitasking is not really in my vernacular. This one looks cool. It's kind of long, though. I think I will probably go over this on a different show. It's just a long one. Let's see. That one. Maybe this one. All right. So this one is from Creatures, Myths, and Legends. And we're going to... My time. Thank you. Gotcha, Rob. Thanks. All right. So this one is from unexplained-mysteries.com. Creatures, Myths, and Legends. And this is dealing with cryptozoological studies, specifically the Avengers Initiative, which sounds like the next Marvel movie. I'm just saying, sounds like a Marvel. They might be taking a little cue from Hollywood there. But it's called the Avengers Initiative, is being set up near Loch Ness, folks. Sounds cool. That's got a really cool name. I don't know what that means, but let's find out. The World Federation of Legendary Monsters. Does that sound like... It's like the Legion of Doom. What? The World Federation of Legendary Monsters will aim to solve some of the world's biggest monster mysteries. Oh. It's not ambitious at all, right? All right, guys, we're here. We're going to solve everything. All right, well, there you go. Let's see what they're going to solve. In an unexpected move, the new super group, they just got a cool name. What does that even mean? I don't know. Which is being set up by staff of the Loch Ness Centre on the shores of Scotland's most famous loch, will unite experts and monster hunters around the world in a collaborative effort to solve a wide range of enduring cryptozoological mysteries. Such enigmas include the Bigfoot of North America, the Yeti of the Himalayas, the Chupacabra of Hispanic America, as well as a wide range of other lake monster legends in the Americas and beyond. By uniting multiple experts in the field, where's my button? Where's my button? Look at that word highlighted. Nope. Wrong button. Thank you. Experts. There's experts in this field. How about that? Nobody even told me. Is hope that the answers to these enigmas can be found? I wonder if it's enigmas or enigma. Is enigma the plural of enigma? Or is it enigmas? I don't know. Sounds like it should be enigma. Like phenomena. I don't know. Anyway, for decades, Loch Ness has inspired scientists, storytellers, and skeptics alike, said the Loch Ness Monster Center's Nagina Ishak. And we're now looking beyond the Highlands to build a global network of expertise as we look for new ways to uncover the biggest mysteries. We want to bring together the leading voices in folklore and science to share their theories, challenge assumptions, and celebrate these legends in new ways. With the center already investigating in and supporting new ways to hunt for Nessie, including high-tech sonar vessels, the underwater drones, perhaps this new initiative will finally lead to a definitive explanation for the Loch Ness Monster mystery. Well, that said, given the difficulties inherent in solving not only this, but many other cryptozoological mysteries around the world as well, it's probably best to not hold your breath. They do have a cool name, though. Come on, everybody. Come on, that is a cool name, the Avengers Initiative. Whoa, I want to join just because I want the shirt. That's all I'm saying. Wow. Cool. I never heard about that before today, and I feel better because of it. I don't know. Interesting all the same. Yeah, like nebulae. Okay. So a nebula is a singular, and a nebulae is many nebula. Okay. Gotcha. Very cool. Gotcha. All right. Well, that's the last article from the news. I hope you guys found that excellent. Cryptical Crossroads, Mr. Casto himself. All right, folks. This goes out to Mr. Casto. Cryptical Crossroads remembered. Gonna go for the record here. Best news ever. Thank you. Excellent news. Nathan Nate says, well, thank you guys. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I am truly thrilled. Superstition is it signifies the end of the world. What? Oh, the oarfish? Yeah. Well, or a natural disaster of something. Yeah. I've heard that the oarfish, they're a weird looking fish though. They really are. But I think anytime something that usually lives like 6,000 feet below the surface starts coming up into the shallows, holy crap, Brent, what's with all the fancy graphics and sound effects? I can barely operate a Zoom call. Well, you know what? I will tell you this, Shane, Mr. Shane Grove of From the Shadows podcast. This thing right here. That thing right there was actually made by our good friend, Mr. Wes Germer. So he's making me look good is all I can say, Shane. I can't take any credit for that one. That's all Wes. He made me look all official and smart and stuff. So, Brent, when I crawled out of the ocean, everyone gasped. I think it's maybe the Speedo, Benno. God knows I can create some gasps if I start wearing a Speedo. I'm just saying. I'm going to go there. The old marble bag does not enhance my physique. I'll just tell you that. Game show kind of music, but kind of cool the same. Yeah, it is pretty game showy. Makini, yeah. Yeah, is it a makini or a mankini, or how would you say that? That's I didn't know there was a word for that, but that cracks me up, actually. Yeah, check out From the Shadows, folks. Another great one. Germa gives you graphics and he gives me a hard time. It's a seniority thing, Shane. You got to work your way up to getting perks. You're still in the giving you a hard time zone. But no, he would make you something. I'm sure he's a very talented guy. Thanks for that, Brent. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Josh. All right, so we got a lot more show to get to here, as always. I got a lot more on deck here, and I'm looking, where are we at? Ooh, did I go through all this one? Yeah, I did. I did. That one went quick. I guess I should pull up another one quick. I got to pull up another one. What? Oh, I don't want to go into that. Let me just pull up another one here. That doesn't sound right at all. Sorry, let me just open up a new article. That sounds better. Is that the one? I didn't do that one, did I? Is that the one we just did? Yes, it is the one we just did. Sorry. I've lost my specific place with my bookmark here. My bookmark. Listen to me try to talk. Let me find one. Ooh, that's kind of creepy. I guess we could do this one. I don't like these kind of stories personally, but let's do this one. This one fits. There's one that's here, and it has to do with haunting missing persons cases, and those just make me sad. I mean, they are such heartbreaking stories that somebody was taken by somebody else, and they're really tough for me to cover because I just don't like to give that stuff airtime. There's enough of that out there, and that's fine. I'm not degrading anybody. It's just I don't like it. I just don't like it. But we'll do this one instead because this is right in our wheelhouse, folks. This is right where we belong. And this is an article from thoughtcatalog.com. And the article is 20 people who work the night shift reveal their experience with the paranormal. Now, I've worked many graveyard shifts. Let me just tell you that, first of all. And maybe many of us have. I don't know. But I know that when I worked corrections, I worked in that graveyard. When I worked security, I worked the graveyard. When I worked several different jobs, it was in the night. And I kind of like the night, honestly. I really do. I like that it's quiet and it's peaceful for the most part. But when weird crap happens, it really, really stands out at night. And maybe it's because the rest of the world is so quiet. You can't help but notice the weird shit when it happens. Sorry for the profanity, but you know what I'm saying. It's, God, I just saw unknown. It said damn Speedos. Yeah. I just don't need that mental image anymore. And I put it out there. Let us be the judge, Brent. No, I'm here to tell you, I would probably get demonetized if I put a picture of me up in a Speedo. And I should be demonetized for that, honestly. That would just be cruel and indecent. There's something, I look better with clothes on. A lot better. A lot better. I'm just going to put it out there. So we're going to get to this article dealing with people who have had experiences during the night shift. And this was written by, who wrote this one? January Nelson. Again, this person is just such a ringer for these articles. I love her work. It's really, really cool. And again, they're Reddit scrapes, so there's lots of different takes, lots of different, inputs. But I just love these articles for discussion. And they're certainly so appropriate for the Halloween season. But that's all year on the portal. So let's get to this one. This is from thoughtcatalog.com. I'll put it up on screen so you guys can see it. Here's the cool artwork, actually. 20 people who work the night shift. That's kind of big, isn't it? Let me just shrink it a little bit more, get it all to fit happily on the screen. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. 20 people who work the night shift reveal their experience with the paranormal. All right, let's go get into this. Again, special thanks to Thought Catalog. This was updated 2 years ago from 2024, but it was January 16th, 2024. That's almost 2 years ago, I guess. But it was written in 2020. and then was updated until 2024. All right, these stories from Ask Reddit, so let's see what people had to say. I don't know if they'll give us attributions or not. The first one is really long. No attributions. So we can't address the people that submitted them individually, but again, I just refer to January Nelson and all of her work. Not me, but a friend used to work as a night custodian for an elementary school, which the building itself was rather old. It was built in the 40s, maybe. He was the third shift guy, so he took over from the second shift guy at like 9 p.m. He was basically there to mop the floors and make sure nobody broke in. If he got all of his stuff done, he was pretty much free to do whatever he wanted to do. Often after he finished doing his work, he'd go hang out in an office because there was a small TV to watch. He said things started off innocently enough. That's all hauntings. Starts off little things. Lights turning on in classrooms where he knew that they'd previously been off. Cabinets and doors opening and closing on their own. He didn't pay much attention to it at first. He was sort of on the fence as to whether he believed in paranormal activities, so he just kind of shrugged it off as coincidences. At first, he'd go and check the noises out. Sometimes he'd creep around and try to catch somebody in the act, and in case there was a way that he didn't know about. A way in. I forgot the word in there. After a month or so, he gave up looking and just learned to ignore it. He'd ask his boss about it and just get blown off. Over the coming months, things progressively got worse. Doors no longer closed on their own, they slammed shut. He heard noises like children playing, sometimes screaming. He'd find trash cans turned upside down, and he'd have things thrown at him, but he would be clearly alone with nowhere for someone to hide and throw things at him. Yeah, see, that's wrong. That's getting all kinds of bad. That's getting bad in a hurry. I suspect he's probably given a lot of fear responses as this is happening, and that's I don't know, some things just feed on that. They're like, yeah, be afraid, be more afraid, be more afraid. And it's really creepy. He'd contemplated quitting, but he was making good money for being nearly fresh out of high school, and he needed money for family stuff, so he just stuck with it. He'd come in, rush through his duties for the night as quickly as he could, and then go sit in the office where he'd turn on the TV to where no one could sit facing to where he could sit facing the door, and that's where he'd sit until the morning crew came in at 6 a.m. He didn't want to admit that he was scared poopless of being in that school by himself at night, so he tried to tough it out and made a lot of excuses to try and explain what was going on. The last straw for him was the night he was sitting in the office watching TV and felt someone grab the chair from behind and flip him over backwards. Oh, they do not want to be ignored. There was clearly no one in the room and no way for anyone to get into the room without him seeing them. He picked up the office phone and called his boss at home in the middle of the night and said he quit and he'd come back in the morning to turn his keys in. He was definitely a believer in the paranormal after that experience. He said that it wasn't until years later that he found out from someone who'd researched the history of the school before it was torn down that there used to be a pool inside the school. Well, a number of kids had drowned in over the early years of the school. I don't know what that means. Until the administration decided to finally expand the building, so they filled the pool in with concrete and expanded over the top of it. Yeah, might as well. Why not? Could have made it a skate park instead or something. That's creepy. Again, hauntings generally start out that way. Hello, Jason Finch. Good to see ya. They don't start out over the top. They start out subtle. I mean, they can be still plenty creepy, but it starts out with more subtle things, small things. And that's why I really believe that there's some aspect to this that we have to give them permission. We have to give them permission. And I don't think it's conscious that we're giving them permission, but I think it's by embracing the fear and allowing yourself to be afraid that it really does empower them, because it's like, it's an acquiescence. It's like, well, you're more powerful than me. I'm not in control. Obviously you're in control. And that scares me. And you don't acknowledge your own power and your own sovereignty in a sense. And so in your mind, you are creating a permission. And I think these things can utilize that to then ramp it up and make it even more scary. And that's the tough part. I don't know what the answer is, how to control your fear. I don't know. And I understand that some of this stuff is absolutely terrifying. And how do you reclaim that after it's gotten so far? I don't know. That's a great question. But I just think there's absolutely something to it, because this stuff doesn't start out with, books flying at you or something. It'll get there maybe eventually, depending on the, type of entity you're dealing with. But I do think they need our permission. I don't think they can just do this, like show up and just be like, screw you, boom, and, your furniture's flipping around and stuff. Well, it's a fly right on my ring light. They're trying to get in now, too. All right. But anyway, that's a great example of how haunting starts subtly. And I think it's like every new person comes in, it's kind of a reset. And they have to get that person's permission, or, convince them that they don't have control. And they seem to really excel at that. All right, let's go to number 2 on this list. I worked in a movie store in college, and I was closing one night and just kind of doing a final walkthrough. I kept hearing what sounded like movie cases shuffling. Well, I looked around thinking maybe someone had come in last minute, although I didn't hear the bell ring for when someone enters the store. I also didn't see anyone. And then I hear what sounds like a movie fall off a shelf in the kids section. I go over, and there's a movie lying on the ground, and I kid you not, it was Casper. Wow, that's actually kind of funny. That's got to be intelligent. I mean, obviously it's influencing the environment, which would suggest an intelligent spirit and not a residual. But with an intelligent target like that, like, oh, check this out, hold my beer. That's like the ghost version of hold my beer. That's funny. All right, number 3, worked at a movie theater running the booths upstairs. The projectors are upstairs, obviously, in a long corridor. Well, that night after the last showing in each theater, you shut off the lights to that theater and the small one over the projector itself. And then you cover the platters to just protect it from dust. It's not so bad for the first few, because at least the lights of nearby projectors are still on for the theaters that are still running. But as you shut each one off one by one, the corridor gets darker and darker, and that little viewing window into each individual theater is pitch black. That dull, steady, whirring noise you've toned out all night is gone, and now replaced by absolute silence. And there's hardly any light left anymore. Just the lights at the end of each corridor where you sit in between each start time. It's spooky enough, is what I'm saying. But one particular night, I'm throwing the covers over one of the platters, and I casually glance up into the viewing theater window across the way, and there's a face. It's a little boy's face, and it's sheet white. I know what I saw, and I'm sure there's an explanation for it, and there's nothing supernatural about it, but there was a face there, and it scared the absolute hell out of me. It made an already unsettling environment that much more terrifying the rest of the time I worked there. Also, for the record, inside the actual theater, these windows are a solid 8 to 10 feet above the seat backs in the highest row. So if someone was playing a prank, they'd need a ladder, and even then they'd have nowhere to set it. I worked in this is the next one. But yeah, that's creepy. The old obligatory face looking in the window. Ugh, that's creepy, right? I don't know. Strange stuff. Let's go to number 4. I worked in a mine in northern Ontario. Oh, it's there a lot of mines up in northern Ontario? I don't know. There was a death on the 4200 level a couple of years previous to the incident. It was a normal day underground like any other. 4200 level was big. The drifts were about 6 by 6 feet, but go on for kilometers in every direction. It was about midnight when we saw the mine rescue team with security rushing down the drift. I don't know what a drift is. I don't know what these terms mean. Naturally, we dropped what we were doing and followed to see if we could help. We arrived to a guy who was as pale as a ghost. He didn't look hurt, but he was shaking uncontrollably. Mine rescue approached him and he wouldn't have it. He would scream, and not just any scream. It was terrifying hearing the screams, like a person so consumed with fear, it had a tone to it that you wouldn't imagine could come from a person. Eventually, he just stopped screaming and just sat there, awake but not responsive. By now it was 3:30 a.m. and our shift was over. We couldn't leave him down there. We managed to get him on a stretcher that we could carry out, and on our way out he kept saying, "The devil is on 42," over and over again. About 2 years later, another incident report was read to us. The exact same thing, exact same spot, but a different person. I don't believe they saw the devil, but it was always in the back of my mind when I'm on 42. No, it was a Balrog. Of course, a Balrog. It was in Lord of the Rings. They dug too deep. It was kind of funny in my head. Never mind. Stupid joke. Yeah, I think, I'm sure there's things that live in our earth. You know, when you're way deep down underground, is it possible to hit something funky? Hell yeah. Of course, you know, Tommyknockers are a widespread belief in terms of hauntings and in mines and such, but is it possible that they could go so deep that they would maybe wake something else, some kind of primordial energy? Could be. I wouldn't surprise me. Crazy. A drift is a horizontal tunnel in a mine, different than a vertical mine shaft. Okay, thank you, Rachel. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know all this stuff. Weapon X5 popped in. How you doing? Good to see ya. Mines in Ontario, North Ontario, especially the nickel mine in Sudbury. Okay. It didn't say where it was, though, did it? It just said Northern Ontario, yeah. So we didn't get much out of the way of description. Huh. Well, I don't know. 2 years apart, people seeing something really funky on 42? Yeah, that's weird. All right, number 5, a lab building where I once worked was the site of an unaliving, self-unaliving, which happened while I was there. It's awful and sad. We didn't have shifts per se, but I had to work late one night autoclaving equipment for the next day's experiment. The autoclave room is right next to the lab where the event took place. I hadn't seen anyone else in the building, and after I started the load, I was about to leave the room when I heard a crash outside. I immediately opened the door and saw that all the contents of a table in the hallway had been pushed to the floor. Water bottles, a packet of papers, pens, etc. Since I was right by the door at the time, I would have seen or heard someone running away. It was against protocol to leave things in the autoclave overnight, so I had to stay an hour and a half to get them out. But nothing else happened. I left the stuff on the floor, though. Didn't want a repeat of that. So what I don't understand is he mentions this unaliving, self-unaliving, but it's not the same time. He said he was there when that happened, but that's not this event. So this was after the event, like a haunting. Okay, I think I'm understanding. For some reason, I wasn't really catching. What are we talking about? The unaliving thing, or this is, I guess, after the fact, like something just knocked everything to the floor. I guess you'd probably be pretty uptight. I think I would be if like somebody took it upon themselves to decide that I was done being alive. that would make me pretty upset. I think I'd probably be knocking crap to the floor too. Ugh, that's such a horrible thing. Wow. All right, here we go. Number 6. I was working at a gas station at like 3 a.m. one night. Our car pulled into the pump and guy got out and started pumping. And then the car and dude just vanished. Oh, that's not your usual night. I was looking right at it and it just popped out of existence. I told my boss the next day and she turned white as a sheet. She'd seen the same thing, same exact description, same car, same pump, same guy. See, this is the part where I'd ask more questions like, well, how far apart are these events that this is occurring? Is it an annual thing? Is it more frequent than that? What is the story? Is there some story of this guy? Anybody heard anything? Man, there's a million questions I would ask if I could. I can't, though. All right, number 7. Let's see what we're doing for time. Yeah, this will be the last one we're going to read for tonight. From this list, number 7, while working at a psych ward every morning at about 2 a.m., there would be the sound of someone running down the main service hallway, followed by the same door at the end slamming. One time I kept a close eye in the area, but when I was distracted for a few seconds, the footsteps began. But when I got to the area, there was nothing. According to one of the managers, that had happened for several years, always at the same time every morning, and most believed it was a ghost of one of the deceased clients. Another time, all the battery-powered wall clocks in the unit spun around a few times simultaneously. And that was freaky, and everyone in the area screamed. Yeah, that's not the kind of events you want happening in a psych ward, for sure. That would be pretty. You don't want to like screw with their grasp of reality at any time. And seeing clocks spin might be enough to just put several of them into a bad place. Yikes. That's creepy stuff. Very creepy stuff. I hope you're enjoying that article. I think it's cool. Again, I love these articles like this. They're just a lot of fun to read and discuss, think about. I don't know. They seem to showcase some pretty common events in the paranormal, so that's kind of why I like them. It's just you start to see patterns emerge from, discussing whole bodies of haunting experiences, like the commonalities, and you start to get an idea about the phenomena. And we can't know whether it's an accurate belief or opinion of the events, but that's all we got is these anecdotal stories for 99% of this. Bigfoot's the only one that leaves tracks, or Dogman or whatever. Cryptids are the only ones that leave tracks. So sometimes ghosts leave tracks too, but it's like the wet footprints on an otherwise dry floor. Oh, it turns out somebody drowned. Oh, sure. It's kind of maybe even sounds a little cliche, but it makes sense. If a ghost has something to tell, they want to tell their story, that would be one of the ways they would tell. They would leave you clues, because they can't just go, hey, I drowned over there. Did you know about that? Did you hear about me? Yeah, that was where it happened. They can't just do that. So they leave you little clues, little hints, little breadcrumbs to follow to tell their story in a manner of speaking, I guess. Maybe they just want to be acknowledged. I don't know. Anyway, I do love discussing, I love covering people's experiences like this, because I really have over time put together models in my mind of what I think is going on with these phenomena. Doesn't mean I'm right, but I don't know. There's such a continuity between stories, and sometimes it starts out real vague and broad, but after you read enough stories and cover enough experiences, you start to notice that there's a flow, there's a recipe for every one of these. And I think it's really cool. I had a horrible experience early tonight. I was not happy with this experience at all. So you know how when your milk gets low, you kind of leave that big gallon jug with just a little quarter inch on the bottom because you might use it somewhere. And so I was helping whip up some mac and cheese for the minion, and there was one of those gallons in the fridge. I'm like, well, perfect. That'll work for the milk portion of the mac and cheese. So I dumped it into a measuring cup, was all set, and there's some left. I'm like, I'll just polish this off. It tasted like rage, hate, in the tears of demons. It was the most vile tasting. It was the most vile tasting milk I think I've ever. And I was in full like drink mode. I wasn't in sampling mode. I was like full drink mode. So it was like, and I'm like, so it was horrible. It was the most horrible milk I've ever drank in my life. It was not a good experience. And that's why I'm drinking a Coca-Cola, because I had to get that flavor out of my mouth. I know I should have smelled it or something, but I was like, oh, the date's still good. Something about a little bit of milk in the bottom, the date doesn't matter anymore. It just goes to hell in a hurry. I didn't know that. I was today old when I learned that. Thank you, Chucky. Yeah, it was gross. Oh my God, it was terrible. It was like, I don't even want to explain it anymore because I'm probably going to make myself puke just by thinking about it. But it was horrible. It was like Alfredo milk or something. I don't know what was wrong. It was so bad. I didn't even remember that until I grabbed my Coke and went, oh yeah, that's why I was drinking a Coke. Ugh, it was not good. Don't just always test. I guess that's today's lesson. Just always test that milk. Don't trust the date. The date lied. Yeah. So you had lunch at the same time. Spoiled maybe. Yeah, it was a lot spoiled. It wasn't quite chunks, but it was probably right on the neighborhood of getting chunks. I didn't know. I just didn't know. I was so disappointed, though. I was so disappointed. Chunks of milk. Ugh. I'm just dumping that shit out every time now. I'm not even gonna roll the dice on it. It's like, nope, you're almost gone. You're done. Yeah, I was glad I didn't get a upset stomach, but I thought, oh, am I gonna get sick? But I didn't. Thank God. But for the sell date, that's what I always do. I mean, I always look at the sell date, sell by, and yeah. But it was horrid stuff. Oh my God, I just started sweating. Maybe it was the milk. The milk brought out maybe I'm purging it through my pores. I don't know. You can grow your antibiotics. Yeah. I think I just took a dose, Benno. I'm pretty sure that was my dose of penicillin or something. Yeah. No, I've had food poisoning a few times, not often, because I really do have a cast iron stomach. But yeah, I've been on the wrong end of food a few times, and it's horrendous. Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's continue on. We got to get to the next segment, folks. This is one I've been really having fun with, and I hope you guys have been liking it too. I think so far you've been telling me you're enjoying it, so that's good, and I hope that continues. But it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for what the hell is that?
What the hell is that?
That's what we're asking. That's exactly what we're asking tonight on the show, and we're gonna hopefully find out. We are hopefully going to find out. All right, let's get to this. We got a few, videos. I got a few images, few videos. There's just some stuff for everybody in tonight's offering. I got to see what I got here. This one is from Cryptid University on Facebook. And I really like this page because they do host a ton of clips. And it's great for discussing. It's great for reviewing and looking at what's going on. Looking for any glaring points that we can discuss about why it might be real or why it definitely isn't. You know, there's all kinds of this that they're hosting. And several of these sites are doing the same thing that we use on the show. So let's get to this, and we'll start out with Cryptid Universe.
Furniture.
Furniture? What? What does furniture have to do with this? I wish I knew your language, Ghost Radar. What's going on with my furniture? Is there something I need to know? I don't know. We'll look for updated information from the Ghost Radar. It's the only thing it's done all night was say furniture. So I haven't even had any visits. Oh, it detected one spirit at 7:48 p.m. at one point. But other than that, it's been absolutely quiet. That and furniture. So at about, it was within 25 yards now, but I didn't see it. So furniture. And if that means anything to anybody, you have to let me know. I don't know what it means. All my furniture seems to be okay. So far. Anyway. What is this? All right. So we're going to get to this first one from Cryptid University. A Sasquatch was recorded from a home surveillance camera system in a person's backyard in northeast Texas. And that's all the information we have, folks. But remember, throughout the course of the What the Hell Is That, I do ask you guys to vote whether you think what we're seeing could be real. If so, type a 1 in chat. If you think it's not real, give me a 0. Or if you're somewhere in the middle, give me a 0.5. Or point whatever, whichever you're more close to. Like 0.1 if you think, well, there's maybe a possibility it could be real, but probably not. Or 0.9 if you think it's looking pretty good, but you're not quite convinced. You know, you can do the whole spectrum in there, but 0.5 is just generally a good in-between marker. So let's check out this one. Here we go. Cryptid University, and it's in night vision. And see what you guys think. This looks like it's definitely their video because they watermarked it. So very cool. Thank you, Cryptid University. Let's have a look. It's not real long as I recall, but let's take a look. There it is. Just kind of a stop, look. And then lumbering back. So on the way towards the right, one thing I'm noticing right away is the way towards the right, it seemed to have a really much deeper lean, like leaning forward as it went. And we'll do that now. I'll turn off the sound because we're not really listening to anything. But it almost looks like exactly like what happened in the Patterson-Gimlin film. Like lumbering, quick turn, kind of over the shoulder rotation, and then back, and then forward. It does look like it pauses, whereas the Patterson-Gimlin, Patty kept going. Then it looks like it bends down, grabs something, and then kind of goes back, but it looks like it's more upright here. I don't know why it's kind of translucent, like the light is kind of just going through it. Let's let it play through the whole time this time. Yeah, I don't think that's anything. Here it is again. Looks like the same motion, but it is very bizarre. That rotation is, I don't know. Honestly, that elbow looks like it's pretty high for what I would expect a Sasquatch. I would expect the elbow to be a little lower. So I think the arm, to me, the arms look more human range than they look Bigfoot range, which is more primate markers than Homo sapien. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay, the grieving model. Oh, it's a new name. Thank you for coming in, grieving model. I'm sorry you're grieving, but good to have you here. It says maybe Ventures with Beth. Nope, she's not buying it. Benno, 0.5, no idea. Fair enough. Where was I? Got all, okay, Aussie Boss Tiger, nope. Karen Alberting, kinda, but mostly no. And Rachel's about halfway there. Yeshua's like -1. So that's definitely not real. Michelle Wolfong, halfway. I spotted the legs faintly. Yeah, it's just weird. Why is it so, like, translucent? Marsha B's like not buying it. Lenda's kind of there, but not really. Half and half. Looks like a shadow, 0-1. Okay, fair enough. Sharon, thank you. T-Bone's -5. He's not only no, but it's hell no. Let's see. 0.25, Mike Prine says, maybe a little possibility, but generally not real convinced. With you, Brent, 0.5 though. Supernatural Station says, okay. Chucky's nope. John Stevenson's nope. Andy Manula's halfway there. Jose, nope. 0.5. Pixie says, Marsha B's nope. Raw milk isn't for anyone. I've never tried raw milk, honestly. I always wanted to. The Unknown says no. What do we got over in Rumble? Not buying it. Dog Digger says, looks performed. Justin Goodearth. Barbara Mora, 0. Okay, fair enough, guys. Thank you. Thank you for... lactobacillus is very healthy. Is that in spoiled milk? Because I got a whole dose today, Justin. I just wish I wasn't in like swallow mode. You know, I wish I was like, let me taste this. But I was already like in, let's get her done. You know? So I had like 2 swallows, and then I was like, I got the big eyes. Yeah, cool. Look at how bright the lighting is on the left side of the fence. To me, it indicates a work light. Yeah, that might be a floodlight over here, though, honestly. It's a nighttime shot, so this could be like a floodlight or a overnight light or whatever they call, like, you know, just a perimeter light. But, yeah, I just don't know why it's so milky, like it's see-through. I don't want to use the word milky right now. Let me correct that. I don't know why it's kind of see-through. Could be a camera's refresh rate, but I don't know. I just think the body markers that I can observe, the elbows look too high. They look very human in proportion, not great ape in proportion. So that's my take. Oops. What the hell is this? The piano lid opens on its own. I didn't even know this one's here. Jack's Paranormal. This is an unintended one. What the hell? What's this song? Oh. Kind of looks mechanical, though. Oh. Doesn't that look mechanical, though, the way it opens? Like it just kind of came way out and then dropped in slowly. Not like it was just let go, but it was almost like a motorized thing. I don't know, though. The notes are horrible, though. Could be legit. I don't know, folks. What do you think? I didn't mean to open this one up, but we got a bonus. Piano lid opens on its own. Let me know what you think in the comments. This is from Jack's Paranormal over on Facebook, or no, Instagram. Instagram, Jack's Paranormal. Definitely check out his channel. I'm sure he's got a ton more like this. Grieving Models all in on this one, 2.0. Okay. Rachel's not buying it. Unknown says yes, it does. Marsha B, nope. It does look like those. It does like those pianos used to do. Halfway there. Okay. Karen says Lenda, nope. Aussie Boss Tiger's all in. Timoth Man, nope, not buying it. Adventures with Beth, nope. Cryptical Crossroads, nope. He's on TikTok. Oh, is he on TikTok as well? Okay, well, this looks like a Instagram marker on the bottom of the site, or on the bottom of the video, but he could host them both. Weapon X5, nope, not buying it. T-Bone, -0. I don't know if there is a -0, but 0 is just kind of the base. Jose Sanchez, about halfway there. Michelle Wolfong, same. Yeshua, nope. John Stevenson, nope. River Morris, nope. Looks too mechanical. Yeah, I think it does too. That's what kind of bothers me. It looks, I mean, it's very synchronous. Like one thing is moving and the other thing is moving, and then the other one rests, and then the other one comes down. The sounds don't match quite there. B. Arthur rocks the golden dulcet tones. God bless you, Mr. Dave. Good to see you, Betty. Thanks for stopping in. I'll try to return the favor after the show. I'm going to tell everybody to go check out Spaced Out Radio after the show here. That is a phenomenal way to finish out your night in the worlds of the paranormal and the weird and the wonderful. So, Spaced Out Radio over on Facebook. On YouTube. Sorry. I don't know. He's streaming in multiple places. I think even including LinkedIn, which is really cool. Might have to add LinkedIn too, but Spaced Out Radio. Dave's not here. Cheech and Chong, man. Yeah, man. Cheech and Chong, man. All right. I keep thinking, lard ass. What did you say, lard ass? Hard hat. Oh, those are classics. Man, it's no wonder I ended up so broken in life, but I had those kind of role models. What do we see? Barbara Morris says, nope, not buying it. Car Juice, kind of buying it. Dog Digger's not buying it. Looks performed, Justin Gooderus says. Yeah, I think the same. I think I just have trouble with the mechanical nature of it. Like the notes, yeah, those could be weird, but I just open. And the sounds don't quite match, too, because you hear clack, clack. But this thing clacks on time, but this piece doesn't come down and clack in time with the sound effect. Like, watch the timing of those two items. Yeah, it's like the music stand comes down much slower than the sound effects. Sounds like bam, bam, but it's like bam, rest. So, I don't know. There you go. But interesting all the same. Could it be? It could be. It's just, I've never observed something like this happening in real time, so I don't know. I've only seen like a pen roll over away from my hand when I was reaching for it, and I saw a chandelier pull out of my ceiling. Those are the two big movements that I've witnessed, and they didn't look mechanical. They looked very organic. But I don't know. It's possible. So that was the first installments of our What the Hell Is That? But don't worry, there's lots more. That was a bonus. I didn't even know we were getting that one, but I scrolled accidentally. So let me pull up the next one. This one is a Bigfoot picture, apparently, footage rather, from this is from Alien World on Facebook. Another one of those cool sites that hosts a ton of these clips. And again, I'm not critiquing these sites for hosting it. I think it's great. Put all the information out there that you can, and gives us something to go through and talk about and see what we think with what we're seeing. So this one is, again, Alien World from Facebook. So follow them, support what they're doing. Let's have a look at what they did. I got to get my screen up here so I can see, and then the chat's up. Okay, here we go. This is great Bigfoot footage. We don't have any background on it at all, so there's nothing much to go by other than, I don't know, looks like it could be good. It's hard to see how far that hand is dragging down. Might be at knee level. Look at that gut. That looks like me if I was wearing a ghillie suit. That's what the Speedo picture would look like without the hair. I'm just saying, you don't want to see me in a Speedo. Here we go. Let's take a look at the video, see what you guys think. I'll try the sound. If there's music, I got to kill it right away, but let's have a look.
How to check out this good footage that's...
Okay, well, check out the... Oh, that looks very AI, doesn't it? Yeah, that's got to be AI. The motions are too jerky. They're not fluid. There's like a... Look at that. There's like a quick shuffle. I don't know. There's not something really not organic about that motion. I think we're looking at AI, folks. I would say the arm length looks about right in correlation to the knees. That's a hell of a belly, though. It's like if Homer Simpson were a Squatch. That would be it right there. Something about his initial movements is very... I mean, it looks like it's trying to look fluid, but it's not. Unless it's just me. No, there's something with the very first motion. The head goes this way, and then it kind of just freezes. It's not like that. It's like there's no more adjusting. It's like the old robot dance, like kind of like that. I don't know. Shoulders don't swing properly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's really got a lot of head on top of the shoulders too, which may or may not be accurate. I don't know. I've not seen them with my own eyes, so I don't know. I've certainly just heard the stories like, didn't even look like it had a head, just a little bump. Well, that's a mountain of trapezius, upper trapezius muscles. So I could be legit in structure, but something about that motion doesn't make sense. And the indecisiveness of it. It's like, oh, you're up there. Oh, dang it. I have to go somewhere else. Oh, bother. It's our manic depressed Bigfoot. I don't know. Just something about that motion caught me right away, though. It just doesn't look right. It's not quite fluid. It's there, that abrupt stop. And it almost happens with the scroll, too. The way the camera motion is moving. Yeah. It's almost too much alike. Boom, right there. That first motion. Are you guys seeing that, or is it just me? Watch. There. It just kind of... Let me just pause this. It kind of goes like this. I'm trying to bring up my big camera. It kind of goes like... and then stops and then goes the other direction. Are you guys seeing that, or is that just me? But then, even then, the motions are very undecided. Like, where should I go? I don't know what to do. It does. It looks at the camera. You're right. It does. Yep. Beerfoot. That's not Bigfoot. That's Beerfoot. Yes, it jolts back in a half circle. Yeah, it's kind of so effing fake. I saw it in 3 seconds. Fair enough. Yeah, I think we all agree. I don't know if we need to. Does anybody believe that this might be real? And that's not a critique. I'm literally asking because I don't pretend that what I think is the only answer. Face is too ape-like, Dog Digger says. Yep, AI, Justin Good Earth. Cardew says, nope, no, not buying it. And Barbara says, nope. Yeah. Nope on a rope, Last Light said. People are making a mockery when you see one. You will never forget it. Yeah, I'm sure that's true, River. I'm sure that's true. If I saw one at a decent distance, I'm good with that, but I don't want to be like, oh, I'm on a mountain trail, and then 5 feet from me is 8 feet of pissed. It's like, no, I don't want that version. That's not the one I want. Looks like the classic run-of-the-mill, almost too gorilla a template that somebody designed for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's not, as far as structurally, yeah, it is too ape-like. I agree, but, there's a whole spectrum of reports. Some people say they look just like a human with a lot of hair, and other people say they look very ape-like, but with human characteristics. And this could look, definitely in the ape-like category with some human characteristics, but again, it's the motion for me that really killed it. I was like, oh, because honestly, compositionally, it looks pretty good, and it's not a lot of detail, so they could fudge a lot of things at this distance with their modeling. But yeah, don't Bigfoot have longer hair? Generally speaking, they're supposed to have like long hair on their arms, on their head. They're supposed to have long hair, kind of draping down to their shoulders, but on their arms, they're supposed to be like, a lot of people explain 6 to 8 inches. Where do I put that? 6 to 8. Where the hell is it? Like 6 to 8 inches of hair from their like wrist and arm hanging down. But then on the chest and back, they say it's thinner there. I don't know. Again, I've not seen it personally, but these are just witness accounts that I've heard. Lots of mullet-looking reports. Yeah, well, business in the front, party in the back. I'm just saying. There it is. There it is. So that's, I think we're all pretty consistently convinced. Nothing to see here, folks. All right, let's get to the next one because we got mores to get to. And we're going to do that now. I don't think this one's supposed to be, it's from M's Vlog, EMMS Vlog, with the hashtag, is this true? I don't think M is the one that owns this or took this clip, but decided to host it with that question. I don't personally think it's true, but we'll let you guys judge that for yourself. This is from the Facebook Reels from M's Vlog. Did I just catch a mermaid on camera? Well, we're going to get into that now. And here we go. Did this person just catch a mermaid on camera? Here's the video. You guys be the judge. From M's Vlog on Facebook.
Picture!
Picture my phone.
I can't see. Picture!
I'm going to get rid of the sound because that's obnoxious. I Do you guys think that's a mermaid? I'm thinking it's an upside down carp, maybe on the last part of the journey. I don't know. I don't know for sure how mermaids are supposed to look as far as their tails, especially. I would assume that there's a little bit of I don't know. Do they have gills? Do they breathe in water? Well, then they're more of a fish type being. But they're humanoid, so are they more mammal-like? Because all of the seagoing mammals, their tails don't look like that. They look like, they're horizontal fins on their tails. They go from side to side, left and right side. Port and starboard sides are where the tails go out. Now in fish, it's vertical from bottom to top. And so, but this tail definitely looks like a fish tail. But what do you see when you look at a mermaid? Is that a mammal? Is it some weird hybrid between a mammal and some fish? I don't know. So the other thing I'm thinking about is those rocks are generally about the size of basketballs, usually on that kind of, if you look at the grass, you can see it's not like, it's like somebody taking a shot from like a second story balcony down into a whatever, some kind of courtyard, and then the retaining wall with that kind of rock just to fight erosion. These are not huge boulders, so if that puts it into scale, this is probably only about 2.5, 3 feet long, roughly. I would guess maybe a little longer than 3 feet, but it's not huge. Alligator? Well, I don't know. I guess looks like there's something popping up here on top. Like, I don't know what we're looking at for sure. Yeah, like a tadpole. You're right. Yeah, I was thinking kind of the same thing. But I don't know what the lore of the mermaids is, how their tails are allegedly oriented on their body, but I've always thought of them as more like dolphins in that regard. I don't think they're necessarily air-breathing, but is it a merman? River Morris says, maybe. Maybe it is. I don't know. Very cool, though. I don't think this is a mermaid. I don't think it's a merman. I think it's a fish that's probably belly up, and its pectoral fins are going up because there's not a lot of rope left in that line, if you know what I'm saying. It's kind of the last hurrah before it just stays on the surface. Belly up, yeah, Mike Prine said. So, let me know in the chat, 1, if you think that's a mermaid or merman or mer something, or 0 if you think it's fish. Let me know how you guys feel about this one. Scale is unknown. It is unknown, but generally these kind of rocks are about the size of a basketball. They're not rolling. These are not the big boulder kinds or, the size of, 5 or 6 feet. These are generally a real rough retaining wall kind of rock. It's probably old asphalt and rock and stuff they've dug up from wherever. And, don't think it's an otter, though. No, I don't think it's an otter either. Or a beaver or anything like that. Zipperoo 0.3, Sharon Sunshine, leaving the door open a little. It's either some fish or digitally edited from lack of water movement. 000 Nate. Who's Harpy? I don't think it's a harpy. But yeah, I think every otters swim on their back. That's true, they do. That's a good point. But usually when they're, I don't know if they do it all the time or just when they're eating, they'll have a rock on their belly and they'll smack the mollusks against it to get to the tender stuff. Okay, so everybody's a lot of zero. Yeah, there is a lot of zero, Barbara. No context here, nada. Yeah. Meant shut it, carp, grumpy old men quote. Yeah, I think we're all pretty much conclusively not probably buying that this is a mermaid. So there you go. So I would say the answer to that question is no, you did not capture a mermaid on camera. Good to know. How we doing for time? 44. We're okay. Did I want to get to, what else do I want to get to before we're out of time? I think that might be it, actually. That might be all that I had saved up. Oh, there was this one. And then this one. And then this one. I got 3 more. Maybe I'll save those for the next time I do a live show. I'm not sure. Let me put up this one because it kind of good lead into the cryptid corner. From Boise Bigfoot, they posted this. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's got merit, but what do you guys think? It's not the big kind, but it's from Boise Bigfoot. Let's take a look at this one. I'll read you the backstory, then we'll get onto the rest of it. Here it is. Let me drag it over a little bit. We got a vintage photo from the 90s that sparked quite a conversation. And yeah, it's not AI. In this image, we see a figure that many believe to be a Sasquatch carefully carrying something across a stream. But what exactly is going on here? What is it carrying across the stream? A deer or possibly antelope? Well, first off, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather the creature in the stream. This isn't a gorilla or an ape. Those who study Sasquatch sightings know that this legendary being is distinct from any known primates. The proportions, the posture, the overall silhouette suggests something much more mysterious. But what we do know, what do we know? Oh, okay, that's a question. It was not ending in a question mark, so it kind of threw me. We'll let all the self bona fide experts on here give their expert take. Bigfoot or not, you decide. Well, it's a great question. I'm asking you guys. Now, it does really look like a deer. I got to say, it looks like he's dragging a deer across. Could it be a good capture? Again, there's quite a biodiversity in Bigfoot reports. They're not all these huge hulking monsters of muscle. A lot of people see the ones that remind them of NBA player, just a real athletic but sleek, slender build. So what are we seeing here? What do you think? All we have is this image, allegedly from the 90s. I've never seen it before. I pulled it up here. It does look pretty good. I'm pretty convinced that's a deer it's dragging, which is one arm dragging a deer across a stream is no small thing. Generally a big, I don't know what we have for scale, but I'm assuming like a big white-tailed deer is about 100, 120 pounds. If it's that big, might be like, yeah, probably be about there. About 80 to 120 pounds. And dragging that with one arm in a stream is no small thing. That's a pretty huge thing. So, looks like its mouth is open. No, looks like the lips. I mean, that's like this, the nose. It does have more of a snout than I would expect because that's unusual for me. It almost has more of a chimp-like snout, which I find interesting. There's a eyebrow here. That's the brow ridge, and then there's a dark eye under it. The nose, and then the 2 colorations here, I assume they're like what might be like a chimp mouth, but I don't know if the nose is hooded. Again, could it be? Maybe. I'm curious what you guys say. It does look like a deer. Look at the top half. It looks like you can see the deer's hoof. Yeah. I don't know if that's all the way up here, though. I think it'd be somewhere in this area based on where, the leg joints are and stuff. It's probably right in here. But this, maybe that's his maleness. I don't know. Not sure what we're looking at there. I'm not going to comment on that anymore. A big arm, though. Look at the size of that forearm, though. That's like some serious Popeye arm cooking. Could be. He ate his spinach. I'm not sure. But what do you think? Yeshua's all in on this arm length. It could be. I mean, the arm length is going well past the... like our arms go about down to our upper thigh. This looks like it'd be a little longer than that. The body proportions, the stride, lean and stuff, it's kind of hard to gauge it. But this arm length from the elbow bend all the way down to here is a hell of a stretch for a forearm to a hand. I assume the elbow bend is about right here. And this, I mean, it could be more here. And it's just got its arm out a little bit. I don't know. But I'm assuming the arm is kind of back. And we're looking at complete forearm to hand. And if you look at the size of that forearm, it's like, Jesus, that's a big, big arm. But I don't think it's one of the hulking big ones, but I'm betting that guy could still walk away with your lunch money with no problem. So what do you guys think? We got 0.5 John Stevenson, 0.625 from Josh on Critical Crossroads. Karen Alberding's halfway there. Rachel's halfway. Eat your spinach. Jose is all in. Yeah, I think it could be. I think it could be legit. I don't know the location. There's not much to go on here at all, other than what I read you. 0 from Marsha. Fair enough. It certainly could be faked. Yeshua says 1. He's all in. 0.3 from Sharon. I'm just trying to 1. I'll go on a limb. Supernatural Station. Yeah, I mean, it's fair enough. All of these could be a 1, really. Is it possible? Sure, but they're also more than likely most of what we're going to see is not going to be legitimate. But the one big red flag is like, oh, where was this until now? Why now is it just coming out? And how do we know it's not AI? You can tell AI to make a picture look like it's from the 90s with bad cameras. I mean, that's not a hard thing. But do black orangutans exist? Not to my knowledge. I don't know, though. There could be melanistic animals of every type around the world, so I guess a black orangutan could be possible. It's hard to say. Bonobo saved that deer from drowning. He's a hero, damn it. Could be. Troublemaker, 0.6, Justin Goodearth. Yep, I hear you. Car Juice is about 3/4 of the way there. 0.75, Barbara Moore is all in. She says it could be real. Troublemaker. It's okay. Make trouble. That's good. I think all ideas are on the table for this one. It's just hard to say. 0.9 looks like my first sighting, said Beth. Oh, very cool, Beth. Thank you for sharing that. Michelle Wolfong's halfway there. Pixie Ranger, 0.8. Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. I think it's worth consideration. It certainly could be a fake. It certainly could be real. It's kind of one of those that goes right down the roster of possibility. I think for a fake, though, if this is a fake, whoever included this big-ass tree in most of the frame really is brilliant for faking, because most often they make sure you can see everything because they put a lot of work into it. And they don't think to obscure most of the frame with a bad placement of a tree trunk. So that, to me, kind of at least leans to this could be a very organic shot. Again, hard to say, but that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say about that. So thank you all for participating in the What the Hell Is That? I think it's a fun segment to discuss ideas, which brings us to the next part of the show. And we're going to get into the last part of the show with what little time we have left. This one's kind of cool. It's going to be from Sasquatch Chronicles, but I like that the topic is a little different. So let's check it out. It's time to go into the deep, dark crevices of the Cryptid Corner. Sound a little sexy there at first. All right, let's get to this. This is the Cryptid Corner, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to start the journey and end the journey here on this Sasquatch Chronicles article. And this one's kind of cool because obviously Wes talks a lot about Bigfoot, and it's primarily a lot of what's going on over there because, it's the name of the show, of course. But This one is the Gloucester Ghoul. And I've been saying for a long time, look, I think the term rake is new, but I think it's a rebranding of a very old phenomenon that we used to call ghouls. Ghouls were very much described like what we describe a rake today. So I don't think that rakes are a brand new thing that just popped up, but they're a brand new name for a very old thing, is my take. Am I right? Maybe, maybe not, but that's what I got for so far. All right, October 15th, the Gloucester Ghoul. The Gloucester Ghoul, sometimes spelled Gloucester. That just sounded wrong. Glue, G-L-O-O-C-E-S-T-R, Ghoul, or G-L-O-C-E-S-T-R, Ghoul, is one of New England's oldest and eeriest monster legends, a mysterious decaying creature said to have haunted the forests of Gloucester, Rhode Island, not Gloucester, Massachusetts, in the late 1800s. It's part ghost story, part cryptid report, and part local folklore, and it remains one of Rhode Island's most chilling backwoods legends. The origin of the legend is Gloucester, or I guess it's pronounced Gloucester. Why do they even put this CE in there then, if it's just Gloucester? Just get rid of the letters if they're not needed. Rural wooded area in northwest Rhode Island, first report is around 1800s, 1890s, particularly from Snake Hill and Round Top regions, where people claim to see a terrifying inhuman figure at night. Earliest mention is a local newspaper and oral folklore collected later by historians like Charles M. Skinner, Myths and Legends of Our Own Land, in 1896. Witnesses describe the creature as tall and thin, sometimes said to be over 6 feet, with a skeletal or decomposed appearance. Covered in rotting gray flesh or dirty tattered rags, glowing or sunken red eyes, emaciated with bones visible beneath its skin, moving in a jerky, unnatural way, accompanied by a horrible stench like decay or sulfur. Sounds demonic. Some versions claim it had clawed hands and would, with a face like a skull, giving it the name ghoul. Here's the encounters. There are several encounters passed down in local storytelling. Snake Hill sighting, 1890s. Farmers working near Snake Hill claimed to see the figure crossing their fields at dusk, moving on 2 legs, but as if half dead. When approached, it let out an unearthly shriek and then vanished into the woods. Ugh. The Round Top Road accounts a horse-drawn carriage was allegedly stopped at night when the horses refused to move. The driver saw what he thought was a man by the road until he noticed it had no nose or lips and its eyes glowed red. He fled, later telling townsfolk he'd seen the ghoul of Gloucester. Disappearance and fear, rumors spread that livestock were being killed or mutilated in the area, though no firm evidence was ever found. Parents used the tale to scare children into coming home before dark. Yeah, that's been used for everything. Boogeyman, wood boogers, even in First Nations, like Tom Seawood shares the stories of Zonoqua, or I think it's Zonoqua, and that you have to get in before dark or she'll put you in the basket on her back and you'll never be seen again. Explanations and theories. The ghoul legend mixes older supernatural beliefs with local events. Here are some leading interpretations. A decomposing corpse or hermit. Some locals speculated the ghoul is actually a mad hermit or escaped asylum patient living in the woods, his appearance frightening anyone who saw him. Ghost story origins. Others saw it as haunting, possibly the spirit of a long-dead settler or criminal said to have been buried improperly in the woods. Folklore embellishments. Many folklorists now see the story as an example of late 19th century rural ghost lore, amplified by isolation, superstition, and the popularity of weird tales in newspapers. Proto-cryptid connections. Some modern researchers link the Gloucester Ghoul or Gloucester Glue, whatever the hell it is, to early Bigfoot or humanoid monster stories, a sort of regional precursor to later cryptids like the Dover Demon or Mothman. Well, there you go. Very cool. There you go. That's our cryptid corner. We only had time for one, but that's okay. We had some cryptids in the last segment, so it's kind of a melding of sorts. But anyway, hope That podcast drives one. Yep. What? Yeah, I don't know what Ben was talking about. I hope you guys will continue to come back, but I'm not doing any live shows Friday or Saturday. I'm going to be at the event in Wallace, Idaho. So I hope that you guys will wait here for me or check out any from of the many, many episodes in our video on demand here on YouTube. There's literally about 1,900 episodes or something like that. So there you go. T-Bone changed his shirt. Got to get ready for the next segment of the night, which is heading over to Spaced Out Radio with Mr. Dave Scott and checking out Spaced Out Radio, folks. Go give your love to Uncle Dave over there on Spaced Out Radio. YouTube.com/Spaced Out Radio. It's an easy walk. And make sure you tell them the Portal sent you. You're going to love that show. If you're not familiar with Spaced Out Radio, go check it out. They have a wonderful chat room. Many of the people in our chat room are also heading over there. So I'll try to stop in as well, but love you all. Remember, be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other, help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. I'll be back, I guess it'll be a week from tonight. But you never know. I might have a member stream coming up early parts of next week. So watch for that. I'll make an announcement on social media and the Discord server. So you guys take care, be good, and I'll talk to you when I talk to you. Good night, everybody.